Are you making the transition from employee to entrepreneur? Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Brown, the Business Plan Answer Man. And I want to talk to you about that concept of going from employee to entrepreneur. There's a couple of things that, this happens to people for any number of reasons. You're leaving corporate employment. It could be company's downsized, it's closed, it's time to retire. Or it could be just something that I've had enough, I'm going to walk away. Believe me, I understand how that goes. I've done it a couple times. As people say, the entrepreneurs are unemployable because we have a different mindset. In going from employee to entrepreneur, we have to change the mindset. When we're working for somebody, we're focused on what our duties are for that role that we're playing. And so as we move over to the entrepreneur side, we're responsible for everything. And so we have to think about that all the time. It's not that we can shut our brain off at 5 o'clock and go home. When we're punching a clock, or whatever the case may be, that happens to us. I don't have to worry about it at night. I'm not the big boss. Well, as an entrepreneur, you are the big boss. So that requires that mindset. We're responsible. So we have to think about that. The other thing is depending on how you leave your corporate employment, from that employee standpoint, your benefit package. If you're fortunate enough to have benefits continue, I'm happy as a lark for you. But a lot of us have been self-employed, or we lose our benefits upon termination or separation from that other company. And I talk to people all the time that think that they can go out in the marketplace and buy that high-quality benefit package you had underneath the group. Well, even if you could find it, you probably can't afford it. And so there's this misconception that, I'm going to have that same benefit package. Well, first of all, so you have to realize that if you don't have benefits, like on retirement, you might carry on your benefits, that you've got to go out there and buy that. Before you do make that transition, if you have a choice, investigate that before you move out. Sometimes what happens is those benefits, in order to keep them, you might be able to reduce your hours at your full-time employment to maintain benefits while you build this business to give you extra time to do that. So we have to think about the benefits that we have as an employee. We're no longer covered by work comp, any group life, health, disability. All that disappears more than likely when you separate from that company. So we have to think about the cost of that when we're figuring in making that transition. The other piece is taxes. Right off the bat, as an entrepreneur, you have to pay the full cost of your Social Security. When you're an employee, your employer pays half, you pay half. Now, as an entrepreneur, you take half out of the right pocket, half out of the left pocket. That's a big expense that we don't think about when we're working for someone else. And so what happens is, my story was our company many years ago, they switched from employees to subcontractors. So we all became independent contractors. All right. Well, I had to take all this into account because they stopped everything the date of that new contract. Well, I'm still adjusting to all that. And we managed to budgeted everything else. And then I had a mid-level supervisor I reported to, and he had our meetings with everybody in our county, in his area. So we're sitting down there, and he had his accountant draw up a budget worksheet for us. And I'm looking at this budget worksheet and saying, oh my God, I got to pay all of this? It was just blew my mind because I wasn't prepared for that. And then he said, well, all of the things on here won't apply to you. And I'm sitting there thinking, phew, that was a big relief because I'm sitting there, there's not enough money in the paycheck to cover all of these items. Well, out of that income that I had coming in, I had to pay for the office. I had to pay my staff. And so you had to really do a tight budget. But he helped us realize, all this comes out of what we make as a gross. So as you make that transition from employee to entrepreneur, think about that. Think about what's got to be in place when you start that. It's a way of thinking that we don't normally have, say, as from an employee standpoint. And a lot of people are going to shell shock, as it were, when they look at what actually they have to spend each month to maintain it. And if you don't do a good enough job on your budgeting and your taxes and setting aside money, you're going to get in a hole with Uncle Sam that it's going to take forever to get out of. So when it comes to making these transitions, find you a good CPA. They're going to become one of your best friends as well as your attorney. You need those two people on your team. You need a good attorney and a good CPA because they're going to keep you from getting into trouble in many ways, financially, legally. So find those people out there now. Start recruiting them on your team before you get there. Hope this helps. Just a little tips on making that transition from employee to entrepreneur. Hope you picked up a little tip out of this. If we can answer any questions for you, please message me, post underneath this comment, share, like. We greatly appreciate it. If there's any topics that you have questions about, please let me know. I want to bring you high quality content that you can use in your everyday business. I'm Dave Brown, the Business Plan Answer Man, and wish you the greatest success.